Business log. Today is July 5th, 2016. Just completed a journaling session on the fact that I lost my job. Don't really have to explain it to myself, but in the rare event this does go live, I just lost my job. Been doing radio for the past 3 years now with a blog, and I don't know, I guess to back up, I was in a coffee shop doing my journal product today, working on the sales page, funnels, all that, and this guy comes in, and his name is, I think I wrote it down, Shig, and he talked to me a year ago. He said, "Hey, you're Clark, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, we talked before we went to Southeast Asia. When was that?" And we were talking a little bit, and I asked him, "Well, how are you doing, Shay?" He says, "Not that good, man." I'm like, "Why not?" He said, I'm kind of freaking out. I just lost my job." And we talk about it, and I wish him the best. He goes off. Well, I open up my email, and the first thing I do when I check it, I see this email come up, and my heart just sinks. And it's the email I knew was coming for a long time. You never prepared for it. And there, it's from the guy. My coworker runs it, I guess, and it says, "Clark, we appreciate your work over the last 3 years." And I'm skimming through the email, and I jump straight to the bottom, and it's like, "Sorry if this is something that affects you. We wish you the best." And right then I knew, lost it. And I guess to back up, document this for myself, I was working for Paleo Hacks, doing their radio show, Paleo Hacks podcast, for 3 years. And how I got that gig was in college. I was into podcasting and health podcasting, never had any experience. In between summers, I was scrubbing floors and doing housekeeping. And so I was doing housekeeping in this dorm that was like 12 stories tall, and I was scrubbing spots, one spot after the other spot after the other spot. And everyone moves all their stuff out of college, so it's just empty rooms. And as soon as you're done spending an hour on this first room, you take all your stuff and you look at it and you're like, "It's clean now." And you go next door, and it's the exact same room you just scrubbed, except now it's dirty and you have to scrub that. So I was doing that for 8 hours a day, losing my mind. So I discovered podcasting out of necessity to keep myself sane in that situation. And so, 8 hours a day, scrubbing spots, boom. And I started getting on podcasts, and I found Underground Wellness radio show with Sean Croxton. Blew me away, loved it. Started consuming health, was doing a major in exercise science in my undergrad. And so I started listening and consuming and devouring, and I pretty soon I was like, I could do that. I could do what he's doing. Interview people, it sounds kind of fun, sounds like a good time. And so junior year, I started my podcast, researched everything on how to do it, interview. I never interviewed anyone before. Typed up like 8 pages of note for my first interview, and was so nervous, and had like 7 cups of coffee. The first interview was with the guy, Sean Croxton, that I did on my housekeeping that I listened to. And so one thing led to another, and he actually ended up recommending me to the Paleo Hacks team, and we were working together. They pitched it to me. I think it was like $200 an episode. They said, "Clark, come do our podcast." I was in college, 19, "and we'll give you $200 an episode." It's like, whoa, $200. That's way more than I'm making scrubbing spots. So I did it. I jumped right on that. I was a little unsure. They had to convince me, but pretty soon we were doing that off to the races, rocking and rolling for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. The first 2 years I made $10,000 with this radio show. But now I'm at the point of where, it's becoming a good staple income, and it's gone. And I'm kind of freaking out because, that's really all I have. And I just did a journaling session on it about what I'm feeling. That whole journey, I guess, it kind of feels like I got broken up with. That's like the best way I know how to describe this. Like you have all these emotions and you're not angry. I'm not angry at all. I saw it coming. I mean, our downloads were flatlining. It's expensive for I guess what you get. You know, people aren't really listening. It's not growing. It's kind of dead, stagnant. So I totally get it. 100% business deal. I would probably do the same thing on that end. But it feels like I got broken up with, so I'm still sad, you know? I'm processing through everything. Yeah. I don't really know. I mean, in my journal, I was talking about, like, you know, what am I feeling right now? And the major thing is I'm scared shitless, because that was kind of my safety net. For 3 years, I knew I was getting, what, $1,000 a month, and I could kind of fuck around with everything else I was doing on the side. I could kind of do my own YouTube videos, entrepreneurship, kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because I had an income, and I had security blanket, and I knew I was gonna get money and the bills were gonna get paid as long as I did this weekly radio show. And it wasn't hard, it was tedious, but it wasn't hard, and I was good at it. And it kind of feels like that's gone now. The ripcord's broken, and I gotta find something else. And I'm falling out of that plane, and if I don't find something else, I'm gonna hit the ground and go splat. That's what it feels like with life right now, ripcord. Kind of morbid. But I guess, you know, my thought process right now is I have so many things going on that maybe this was a good thing. Maybe it was good that this ripcord got pulled out, and now I have to prioritize and figure shit out on my own. You know, when your ass is on the fire, under pressure, you tend to perform better. And so, I don't know if this is gonna force me to perform better or what. But, yeah, you know, I'm super thankful for the opportunity. I really am. And that's I think the emotion I'm feeling the most right now is like, I look at these emotions I wrote down. It's, you know, doubtful, uncertain, insecure, jealous, resentful, shame, vulnerable. There's no anger. And I'm not mad at anyone over there. Like I said, I do the exact same thing. It's just more now, I think I'm scared about the unknown. I'm scared about not having that safety net. I want to do my own podcast. I do my own podcast. I want to do my own interviews. I want to make it. But, you know, reality is you need an income to live. I'm in my mom's house, in her basement, doing a hair company with my brother. It's going good, but it's not the stage of where it can sustain us. I do these YouTube videos, this journal product I'm putting out, which has been a fucking nightmare. Oh God, dealing with like membership sites and product development. And it's not making any money. You know, the YouTube videos, I think last time I checked, bring like $160 in a month on YouTube, which is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I did not, that's not the reason you do it, is for ad revenue. You do it so you can build a list and sell full-length products. So maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself, and when this journal product comes out, people support me that way. Who knows? But the pressure is on, for sure, 100%. And the safety net's gone. And I'm kind of anxious right now. I've been having a lot of anxiety and a lot of really depression the last 6 months about future and the unknown and being uncertain and being 24 and not knowing what the hell I'm doing in my life and feeling like I have all this potential, but like it kind of feels right now like I'm swimming upstream and that I'm fighting that current. And I don't know why I feel so much resistance around when I'm at home and just editing videos. It feels kind of painful. Like blogging feels kind of painful. It feels forced. It doesn't feel natural. Being alone all day, isolated. Like, I don't think it's healthy to be an entrepreneur like that. I mean, I thrive when I'm talking to people, when I'm making sales, when I'm in person, when I'm communicating, when I'm around others. I thrive. I'm so happy. And then when I'm by myself, I love the actual ideas I'm talking about. I love the finished product of creating content. I love the messages I get from people when I create content, put it out there for everyone. This is life-changing. This is the best thing ever. Your journaling videos, X, Y, and Z. That is phenomenal. but the actual process of creating it is a little soul-sucking, if I'm honest. I mean, you're sitting there and you're editing, dragging and dropping, and like filming, and it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So I guess that's another note for myself, is find a better way to outsource. I just started outsourcing the podcast editing, and man, mind blown. That is 10 hours a week of editing I don't have to do. I guess to go back here, to end this video, you know, we talked about like feeling broken up with, scared shitless, ripcords out. You know, I guess two things. The first is, what advice would I give someone else in my exact same situation, right? That's the question I've been preaching at people to ask when you do a brain dump, when you put it all on paper. What advice would I give someone else in my exact same situation? And I wrote down here, and you know, I said it's a good thing. That losing the job is a really good thing, because now the pressure's on for those other areas like I talked about. But maybe, to back up, I think I've identified my weak spot, and that is I'm afraid to ask for money. I'm afraid to ask. Hair product business, friends want to buy it. I'm like, no, take it for free, take it for free, take it for free. This YouTube channel, I've been growing at 12,000 subscribers for 4 years now. Never sold a dime, never sold anything, because I'm afraid. And now with this journal product, it's the first thing I'm putting out that I'm like asking people to buy. And it's worth it, but I still feel resistance around the selling. So maybe this paleo hacks thing, losing the job, is a very good thing, because now I'm forced to get over that and sell on my own. In other words, I don't have that income, so now I have to make it. And I have to get over that and be really hungry for it. And I think that's gonna be a huge growing experience. I'm nervous about, but I need it, because there's two sides to this thing. You know, there's the creative side. Everyone's a creative, right? That's the fun stuff. And there's the marketing and sales side. And you look at the top paid people in companies, top paid people online, it's the salesmen and the marketers. So I need to become a marketer. I need to become a salesperson. Otherwise, I'm gonna be broke in my mom's basement for the next 4 years, hoping something takes off and someone comes along and sells for me, which isn't gonna happen. So it's a good thing. I have to get over that. Prioritize better, focus on that. You know, even if I have to take a job, I wrote this down, even if I have to take some hours for dollars thing just to scrape by, I mean, who cares? That's not my identity. I think this entrepreneurship thing is so much bullshit around. You have to be doing this full time or you're not serious about it. And what I mean is, like, even on the podcast, when I'm interviewing guests and they're talking to me about life, it's like they're afraid to say that they have another gig, or that they're training, or that they're in clinical practice, that there's this taboo that whatever you do online has to be your permanent gig, otherwise you're failing at it. And I think that's 100% bullshit and not true. I think that for me personally, I thrive when I have something taking up X amount of hours of my day, and then it really forces me to use the hours where I'm getting up at 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and working on my business. I get more done in those 4 hours than if I had 8 hours that day. But if I have 8 hours that day, right, Parkinson's law, tasks expand to the time we give them, I'm gonna be doing mediocre tasks for those 8 hours. I'm gonna be changing fonts around for 7, and then, you know, hour 8 comes along, boom, okay, I better get something done today, otherwise it wasn't worth it. So maybe it's good, maybe I do have to take another job and get money and do it that way. But I'm not gonna quit on my dream. And that's the last thing I wrote down here, is that, look, you know, I know one day I will be successful. I know one day I'm gonna change enough people's lives, create enough content to where I won't have to worry about finances, and everything's gonna be from a place of abundance and not scarcity and this desperation that I'm feeling, or anxiety, or lack of. I know I'm gonna get there. I will get there, 100%. I've always thought so. There's no doubt in my mind that's gonna happen. It's just patience, and it's the hardest thing. Patience, patience, patience. I'm scared shitless, but you know, life moves on. Architect's new album has a little bit, I think from Alan Watts, it says, to the degree you're flowing against the stream, you're struggling. And change, everything is change. When you fight against it, you're going upstream. So swim with it. That's all you can do. So, you know, this happened, sucks, I'm scared, but the only thing you can do in life is swim with it. You know, other opportunities are gonna come by. This is just one of them. I still have a great family. I have a great girlfriend. I have so many things to be thankful for besides just this. That if everything was taken away, I'd still have those. Gotta swim with it. So, you know what? It's bittersweet, but it's time for it to end. It's time for this video to end. So, I guess, you know, for myself, if this does go up live, posted later, what advice would I give someone else in my exact same situation? Always, always the best question to ask yourself. Swim with it. Your life's not over if you have a big event that happens. Our life doesn't end because one thing you got broken up with. Your life doesn't end because you lost your job. Your life doesn't end because someone in your family died. Life goes on. You gotta swim with it. Don't resist it. And pursue other things. Try and see the positive outcome of this. Like, you know, time for other things. As hard as it is. I mean, it sucks. I'm not gonna have money for months. But there is silver lining if you look hard enough. All right. Thanks for listening to my vulnerable rant. Means a lot. Really does to have your support. Appreciate you. I love you. Until next time, stop settling. Start living. See you later.